Murtaza Ali, this was what Lata Mangeshkar stood for. You know, she didn't have just fans in her own industry. She had fans across stratas, across sectors, across fraternities, across age groups, because she'd been singing for over half a decade.
Absolutely, Uday, and let me tell you that from where I am sitting, I see two parallel journeys, and they are actually not two parallel journeys, they are just one and the same journey. There's a journey of Lata Mangeshkar rising, emerging as the voice, definitive Nightingale of India, and there is this journey of India. We are today celebrating 75 years, the Amrit Mahotsav. So these two journeys go hand in hand, and as the case with India growing and booming into a major country in the global arena. Similarly, Lata Mangeshkar also, became a voice that was synonymous with India. So these two parallel journeys actually coincide the way I look at it. And probably this is the very first time, in India's existence that she is not with us in her physical form. Having said that, I feel that she will always live with us in our memories, in our hearts, in our emotions, and this journey will continue. So Lata Mangeshkar is not just a singer, she is a phenomena. She is a voice that has been synonymous with India for a very, very long time, over 50 years. And now I think for as long as there is imagination, as long as there is love among mankind, I think she will stay with us as an immortal soul.
Was the guard of honor being accorded to Lata Mangeshkar? Remember, she's being given a full state funeral in accordance with her stature, and of course, the nation has lost a Bharat Ratna today. Let me bring in Sunil Darshan at this point. Okay, I'm being told we've lost Sunil Darshan. Let's just quickly go back to Murtaza Ali, who is still live with us. Murtaza, it's of course a rich legacy. Which are some songs that stand out for you, Murtaza? And do you believe कि जैसे वो कहते हैं कि वो दौर अलग था, जिस दौर में लता मंगेशकर जी गा रही थी, जिस दौर में R.D. बर्मन, जैसे उम्दा म्यूजिक कंपोजर्स थे, वो दौर अलग था. आज का म्यूजिक भी इंटरेस्टिंग है, भी इट्स कैची, बट वो दौर अलग था. मुर्तज़ा,
Uday, a mastery over classical music, and add to that a full range of soprano voice. How many singers, of today can claim to be a combination of both these? So she was really great, and she at no point in career was content with what she had. So she constantly honed her skills. She kept on becoming better. She worked on her range. She worked on her pronunciation. There was a time when she took Urdu lessons to master her because somebody was talking about her talaffuz. So she really worked on that. She worked on, the riyaz that we speak of, that was something that kept on making her better. Otherwise, there could be no reason why she was so big in the 50s. She defined the 60s. She started 60s with Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya. Can you imagine the same voice which sang songs like Vande Mataram or, Malik Tere Bande Hum? She was also singing Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya.
A lot of political...
then move on. She was...
A lot of political figures have also outlined today on the patriotic songs that she did sing. Murtaza, I want to get you in. Please complete your point. You were making a very, very interesting point earlier, and I want you to just go on and explain the various decades and Lataji's music over the decades. From the 50s to the 60s to all the way to the 2000s.
That's exactly, Uday, what I was trying to reiterate, that you cannot become Lata Mangeshkar just by fluke. You have to work towards it. With each decade, she was constantly redefining herself. Sometimes she would redefine herself twice in a decade. So that's how versatile she was. You look at the 50s, she worked with Shankar Jaikishan, she was working with Naushad, she was working with S.D. Burman. Then she would also work with R.D. Burman. She was also working with Lakshmikant Pyarelal. She would also work with Anu Malik. She would also go on and work with A.R. Rahman. So that's how diverse she was. As you have to see, and tell me one great male singer with whom she didn't sing with. She sang with Muhammad Rafi, she sang with Manna Dey, Mukesh, Mohinder Kapoor, you name it. And that's what creates the legacy. If we talk about the 60s, then, there is Lata Mangeshkar. It all started with, as I said earlier, Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya. If you look at 70s, it's the duets that she sang with Muhammad Rafi, Kishore Sahab, Manna Dey, and all those great singers. So that's how she was always there. Whether it's singles, it was always Lata, and then a distant second was Asha Ji. So that's the kind of dominance she had over Indian film industry, that S.D. Burman would always want Lata Mangeshkar. He would never settle for anybody else. And then when R.D. Burman would come on the scene, he would also want Lata Ji to sing for him. And then A.R. Rahman, of course, would also do that. So that's how dominating and that's how inspiring a personality Lata ji has been. And also I want to add here that she was not just a great playback singer, she was also a great performer. Let me take you back to the 70s when she became the first Indian to perform in Albert Hall, London.
Murtaza, her father was a musician, which is why she started singing at a very, very young age. Her sister, Meena Mangeshkar is a singer. Her brother Hridainath Mangeshkar is a composer. Asha Bhosle, a sister of hers, younger sister, also very famous singer. Usha Mangeshkar, also a singer. So really musical legacy of the Mangeshkars, isn't it?
Absolutely, and let's not forget the personal facet of Lata Mangeshkar, how she became, the breadwinner for the family and how she stood for a family and how she looked after her younger sisters. And at that young age, that was unheard of. And at the same time, she was also going through this professional turmoil, wherein some of the people in the initial days were not accepting her voice. Because in those days, some of the popular singers were Noor Jahan and others.
Yes.
And then she came in, and Suraiya and all those, and then she came in and then she had to fight her way out. And then slowly she established herself while simultaneously looking after her younger sisters. So that was two sides to her story, not just as Lata Mangeshkar, the great singer, or Lata Mangeshkar, the professional. She was also the breadwinner for her family.
Yes, and she also had to struggle. It's not that everything was laid on a silver plate for her.